The world is quietly being reshaped by a ticking demographic time bomb.
Japan's fertility rate has hit an historic low.
The U.S. population is older than it's ever been.
Italy's national birth rate has fallen to its lowest level on record.
Experts are warning that global fertility rates will drop below the point needed to sustain the world's population.
2/3 of the world's population lives in countries with fertility rates below replacement levels of 2.1 children per woman. By 2050, 1 in 6 people on the planet will be 65 years or older. While the global population is still increasing, driven by growth in developing countries like Nigeria, Pakistan, and Somalia, experts predict the global population will peak within 60 years. The economic and social implications of that are huge. Smaller populations means fewer workers, more retirees, declining tax revenues, and slowing economies. So governments all over the world are doing what they can to try to boost birth rates, especially in East Asia, where the population crisis is severe. In Japan, the demographic decline is so bad the imperial family is literally running out of heirs. Japan has the oldest population in the world, so the government has expanded parental leave. They've subsidized daycare, and they've introduced cash allowances to get people to have babies. For decades, China limited births to 1 child per family. Now, communist officials knock on doors to ask women about plans to have more kids. President Xi Jinping has called childbirth a national priority and a patriotic duty. In South Korea, sales of dog strollers have outpaced actual baby carriages. The country has the world's lowest birth rate, which the government has declared a national crisis.
저는 오늘 인구 국가 비상사태를 선언하고 저출생 문제를 극복하는 그날까지 범국가적 총력 대응 체계를 가동할 것입니다.
Korea has tried it all: cash incentives, tax breaks for new parents, housing benefits, even matchmaking services. Nothing is working. The problem runs deeper than economics or policy. Modern society is changing. People are delaying marriage, they're prioritizing their careers. And for women, more education and opportunity most often means fewer children. Immigration could help. 1.2 billion people will age into the labor force in developing countries over the next decade, and there aren't enough jobs in their home countries to support them. But in many places, accepting large numbers of immigrants is politically toxic, and even countries with growing populations are going to peak within the next few decades. So maybe it's time to embrace reality. We can't turn the demographic clock back to the 1950s. Instead of pushing for more births, governments could also rethink old age. Invest in lifelong learning and new technologies to keep people productive for longer, extend their working lives, redesign retirement and Social Security to support older, engaged populations. The aging crisis could be an opportunity to create a blueprint for how societies thrive with the populations they actually have. The future won't look like the past, and that's not such a bad thing.